so much fun singing and writing stories and writing plays and writing songs. And it wasn't difficult. I hadn't been given that concept yet. So I was just having fun with it. And that lasted till I was almost 12 years old. And I remember telling an uncle of mine that I wrote songs. And he said, "Oh, do you play an instrument?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, if you don't play an instrument, you're not really writing songs. You're just remembering other songs and thinking that you made it up and thinking that you made up a song. You didn't really write songs." And having no idea that he had no idea what he was talking about, I believed it. He was an adult. And I thought, oh my God, I must look so stupid. I've been telling people that I've been writing songs. I've actually been singing them. That's really weird. So I thought, I better not say that I'm a songwriter anymore. I don't want to look stupid. And that was a definite blow to my fun with songwriting and singing and all that. But then the worst thing happened to me around music when I was 12. I was on stage, I was in a talent show, and I was singing. To carry on, you light up my days and fill my nights with song. Oh. Those guys are like talking and they're laughing. I must look so stupid. They're laughing at me. I'm up here singing and they're laughing at me. And I started crying. And I didn't know if I'd ever stop. So at that point, the inner critic took over. He said, "I will make sure you never look stupid. Just don't get back on stage. Don't sing. Don't do anything creative. And I'll just make sure you don't look stupid." So I listened to everything he had to say from that point on. And I still really loved to sing, but it wasn't fun anymore. His voice was so loud, I couldn't hear myself. So I was really academically inclined. I was in school to become an accountant, and that quieted him down. And then one day, I woke up and I wait a minute, I don't think this is it. And then I remembered that I really wanted to be a singer and do music. And it was a long road back to doing music. The inner critic's voice now was so loud, it was practically deafening. But I pushed through it, and I would get myself on stage, and I would have a panic attack every time I sang on stage for years. So it was a really slow process. And about 13 years ago, I bought a guitar, and I thought, I'll teach myself guitar, and then I can accompany myself. And it really hurts, actually, to play guitar. You have to push really hard on these strings, and you cut your fingernails back as far as you can, and file them the rest of the way, and it hurts. But if you do it long enough, I've heard, it builds calluses, and then, it doesn't hurt so much if you've got these calluses. Well, I tried, and coached by the inner critic, I didn't get very far. He said, "You can't play that chord. You've tried 3 times now. It sounds terrible. You're never going to be able to do this." Oh, you're right. I probably can't do this. Guitar is not for me. It's not the thing to do. So, put the guitar in the closet, stayed there for about 13 years. And then I was like, well, there's piano. That probably doesn't hurt as much. When you push on the keys, they're smooth. But the inner critic said, well, why try that? You're not going to be good at that either. I mean, come on. What are you thinking? You're going to look stupid if you try that. So I didn't try that either. I just let it go. But a couple years ago, I did finally take some piano lessons, and it's a lot easier to play than guitar. But since my goal involves, at some point, singing for people outside of my house, it's unlike a guitar, I find it practically impossible to carry a piano. So last week we had an assignment in class to tell a story about a time in our lives when we felt really fulfilled. Again, the inner critic's in there helping me out. And no, that's a bad idea, that's a bad idea, that's not a bad idea. So I had no idea. So it was 9 o'clock the night before the assignment was due, and I had nothing. So I thought, maybe I can come up with an experience of feeling fulfilled, I'll have that experience, then I can just talk about that. So I thought, okay, what could I do? Well, maybe from a new perspective, I can try the guitar thing again. 27 years seems like a long enough break from songwriting. So I thought, now if I can just get 3 chords, just be able to go between 3 chords, well enough to come up with a melody, maybe I can have that experience and that would feel fulfilling. So I went online, which is really great, and I typed in easy guitar chord diagrams or something, and it shows up these lines and dots, and I'm like, okay, you translate the lines and the dots, looks like you do it here. Wow, this one has 3 all in a row. Okay, that won't be so hard. So I get the guitar and I start pushing, and I'm like, man, this hurts. It really hurts your fingers. But I was like, I got 2 hours to have this experience, just push through it. So I'm playing this chord, finally I'm like, hey, this sounds like a chord. Yeah, it's working. And then a critic comes in, why'd you pick A? That's kind of a stupid chord. I'm like, look, I have about no time to do this. I got like 10 minutes to learn each of these chords, and I got to figure out how to start going between them. So we're going to have this conversation later about A. What's the next one? And then I see, oh, the next chord's right there. Okay, that's pretty easy. Okay, A. Okay, we got 2 chords going. Wow, this is happening. I'm having fun. And then, oh, the 3rd chord, it's all the way up there. Okay, well. And then a critic comes back in, you're not going to be able to change fast enough between the chords. And it's like, I'll just play the chords less often. I'll get there. So I'm going along with this experience, and it's happening, and I'm starting to be able to go through the chords, fast enough, missing them sometimes, but enough to start to sing a little melody. And I'm like, wow, I'm doing it. And I sing some words, and I did it, just 3 chords repeating over and over again, but I made up a little song, and I had a lot of fun. And as I'm singing the song now, with my words, the inner critic comes back in. Why are you singing so high? You sound like Snow White. And I think, well, I always loved Disney. I shut him up again for a little while. And so I felt fulfilled and accomplished. Oh, good. Now tomorrow I'll just come up with a story and tell in class. So that was fine. I guess he went to sleep when I did. But he came back the next day and said, that's not really a song. It's not very long. It's very repetitive. It's very stupid. And you're not going to be able to come up with anything interesting to talk about. So why don't you just, forget the whole thing. And I am so sick of fighting with this voice that I said, you know what, you're right. I am not going to be able to come up with anything interesting to say. But I'm going to go there tomorrow, and I'm going to tell a story about this experience, and I bet I won't look stupid. So I've noticed that the more I do what the inner critic is afraid of me doing, the quieter his voice gets. And I could hear him. The last thing that I heard him say audibly was, don't ever sing that stupid song in public. And so this is for the inner critic.